My name is Mark Norton. I'm the Product Director for Idiom. I'll be your host for this presentation, so let's begin.
Today we're going to look at the Idiom Decision Manager and its ease of use. In front of us now we have the key Idiom Decision Model concept. On the left-hand side we have an Explorer panel with a couple of other concepts, the schemas and tables. With Idiom Decision Modeling, the schemas provide the fixed model. When we're talking schemas, we're talking about a.xsd. The tables are a traditional implementation of reference data either internally or externally supplied. Let's look a little closer at the schemas now, and we can see that the schema is on the Explorer side of the boundary bar. You can also see that it's a tree. Idiom renders schemas into a tree because we see that it's very important that the decision designer sees all their data in context. Context is an important concept in Idiom. We can also see the green arrows here. The green arrows indicate that the decision designer has been delegated responsibility and control over the values of those nodes. So the schema represents a contract with the outside world application providing the data that the schema defines and then being responsible for accepting ownership back again of the decision values. What it does not understand is how those decision values have been calculated because that has been delegated to the decision designer. You will notice that the tree decomposes from left to right and has an atomic level, a leaf level of attributes. Similarly, the decision model decomposes from left to right until we get to this atomic level, this leaf level of rounded concepts here that we call a decision. You know when you've got to a decision for the same reason, that you cannot have half a decision any more than you can have half an attribute. A decision is single valued but can be grouped into what we call a decision group, being the squared concept here. A decision model executes from left to right, top to bottom, so we can contemplate having dropped one or more XML documents at the top. We drop them through this model, they come out the bottom more valuable. We believe that the Idiom Decision Model actually describes the act of value creation. Let's just have a look at why the schema is on the Explorer side of the boundary bar, and you can see here that we have decorated the schema with the decision model, and we've introduced the blue concepts which we call formulas. Formulas actually bind each decision to the fact model and describes how the data is consumed, how the facts are consumed in order to derive the decision. These two models are tightly bound. When I click on a decision, for instance, I get context in the fact model, and so we tend to build these two models up together. They both represent different perspectives of the same domain problem, with the fact model describing the domain problem at rest and the decision model describing the valid transitions between the resting states. What we'll do today is we intend to double up on the pricing, on calculating a greater premium if there has been more than $1,000 worth of claims. This is an adjustment to the decision model, and we make that adjustment like this. So we have now just created a new decision that will get executed appropriately within the decision model, and we now need to calculate how we are going to derive that decision, and so we open the formula palette. Now we've said quite clearly that we are going to double up on the premium amount, on the existing premium amount, if the claims amount is greater than if the total of the claims, and we'll simply just add up the claim amounts without further qualification, is greater than $1,000, we will multiply by 2, otherwise we'll leave it as is. Now let's just have a quick look at what we've done there. So we have, we're going to return a premium amount, which is claim amounts greater than $1,000. Yes, that looks like what we need. So we'll now save that. This palette designed formula here has been saved. It's been rendered into a form of logical English, but perhaps we should test it. So we now go back to the decision model. We want to just have a quick look at this particular decision, so we'll put a breakpoint on it. We will now run some data through it. Here I've got a record that's based on the schema. So if I simply save that decision model, and away we go. Now we can see here, we can step into the decision. The premium amount's $2,700 on input. We double it. Our claim amount's only $700, so we're sticking with it as is, which is correct. So we will continue. Now let's just make sure that that change we had is working correctly, so we'll just increase the amount of claims that we have available to us here. We rerun it. We now step into, and we now have twice the amount, $5,400 there, so we'll allow that to continue. And you can see that we've doubled the amount. The one thing that we would like to do now, of course, is document our change. And you can see here, for instance, that we have our double up as we defined it, and we're ready to go. We have made a change, we've added a formula, we've tested it, and we have documented it. It's now ready to be deployed. Well, thank you. That's all we needed to do today. There is a far more comprehensive version of the same demonstration available on our website, but this brief introduction is all that we intended to do today. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed our presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us through the details on our website.